This program.
Ang sigaw ng Pinoy Nation, information and education. Ating salaopin, ipakita natin ang sagot sa problema natin. Ano sa palagay nyo? Ano sa palagay nyo? Ano sa palagay nyo?
Biyernes na umaga, Ricky Girl!
Sa pinakamaganda kapag Friday.
Nako, Friday,
Ayan.
casual na casual. Tino naman si Ricky.
Casual na casual,
Fresh
syempre.
na fresh, nakamaong
Jeans
na lang.
na jeans.
Jeans na
Oo.
jeans. Ako rin jeans, pero
Oo.
ano, hindi ka dyan na skinny. Yung aking
Hindi
maluwag-luwag.
skinny yan, baston.
Ah, baston.
Ay, ano ba yung
Hindi.
baston pag gano'n?
Oo,
Flare
ano
yan.
yung tawag? Oo.
Pero matching tayo ng color.
Blue pa rin tayo. It's a Blue Friday ba? Kasi nga daming mga kaguluhan na nangyayari sa gitnang silangan. Pero we will try to make it as positive and ano pa rin, kumbaga hopeful pa rin tayo.
Yan,
diba?
lalo na dahil it's our favorite day today.
It's our favorite day. It's a
Diba?
Friday,
It's a
talagang weekend na. Marami na talagang gustong magpahinga.
Oo.
Marami na talagang gustong parang break muna.
Let's have a break,
muna.
ano?
Oo, kasi
Oo.
sunod-sunod yung mga masasamang balita. Di ba? Nagtataasan na talaga yung mga produktong petrolyo. Siyempre, susunod-sunod na dyan. Pagkain, bilihin, pamasahe,
Lahat
pamalengke,
na. Oo.
lahat na. Pero samahan nyo kami ni Ricky hanggang alas 10 po ng umaga para naman po, bibigyan namin kayo ng konting kasiyahan at maraming kaalaman para po talagang alam po natin kung ano nangyayari dito sa ating kapaligiran. So sa mga nakikinig po sa Radyo Aguila 1062, sa kanilang talapihitan, magandang umaga. Huwag po kayong mabuburyong sa traffic.
Oh, yan. Ang gagaling ng Tagalog mo ngayon, ha?
Mamaya kung ano naman masabi ko, may napanood lang ako.
Basta hawakan mo mabuti ang iyong
Yung
script.
ticket!
Ako script!
Ang aking ticket, hawakan ko. Baka makawala, baka lalo na pag lotto ticket yan, di ba? Mamaya yung milyon-milyon. Okay!
At saka siyempre gusto natin pasalamatan lahat ng talaga sumubaybay sa atin mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes.
Yes!
Ayan. So may
oo.
nakukuha naman po namin, natatanggap ko naman yung mga messages nila, mga mensahe nila.
Aba!
Ay, tuwang-tuwa si Rovin ng Zamboanga.
Ng Zamboanga?
Ang pangarap lang daw niya, ewan ko bakit ako tinetext niya para sa'yo. Ang pangarap lang daw niya ay makasama si Patpi sa isang picture at mayakap
Okay,
ka.
next time. Basta pag nandito ka sa Manila or pumunta ako na Zamboanga, mamaya may balita ako
Akala ko
tungkol sa
mamaya pupunta ka sa
Zamboanga.
Zamboanga.
Hindi. One of these days, malay mo. Pero mamaya may balita ako tungkol sa Zamboanga. Pero hintayin nyo muna yan. Pero ito nga, dahil Friday, March 6 na ngayon, ang bilis,
Bilis,
no?
grabe.
Yung isang quarter na patapos na, di ba?
Grabe.
O 3 buwan na. Okay, ito po ang aming unang pangpaswabing pambungan ngayong Biyernes. O, naalala mo ba, Ricky, noon, kwento natin, di ba? Kailan ba yon? Over the weekend, nung Tuesday.
Blood moon.
Blood moon, Tuesday.
Sabado yan.
Sabado?
Sabado ang blood
Sabado,
moon.
o blood moon, di ba? Ang ganda-ganda.
Ay,
pulang-
tama ka.
Tuesday.
Monday
night. Total mo, wala
Hello,
na.
Memory Plus.
So, di ba, ito na kayo balita natin about Zamboanga. So, yung blood moon, everybody, di ba, ng moon gazing, ganyan-ganyan. May ano nangyari rin. Habang nagkaroon ng blood moon, nagkaroon po ng Sea of Tamban sa karagatan.
Wow, ang sarap.
Oh, di ba? Yung tamban, alam naman natin yan, yung isda na ginagamit para sa sardinas. Look at
Ang
that.
sarap niyan.
Oo, para siguro,
Sariwang sariwa.
para siguro hinabol nila yung liwanag
Oo,
ng,
baka,
ng,
pwede.
ano,
Oo.
ng buwan. O, di ba? So, libo-libong pong tamban na tinatawag nga rin nila tuloy ang inanod sa dalampasigan po ng Barangay Tagilon sa Dapitan City, Zamboanga del Norte.
Wow.
Kaya yan kay Rovi. I don't know if she's from Zamboanga del
your fan
Norte.
club president.
My fan club. O, yan po, sa Zamboanga del Norte, yan, nung March 3, so nung Wednesday po yan, sakto po sa gabi po ng total lunar eclipse. So, Wednesday pala yung total lunar eclipse.
Talaga ba?
Oh, di ba? Look at that, oh. So, sa video na in-upload po ng isang netizen, makikita po yung mga residente na masaya sa pagsalok ng isda sa kanilang mga timba. Pagsalok. Okay, I was corrected by Timbog.
Siya daw yung buo.
Ano?
Ayaw sabihin yung word.
Ayan. Ano? Pagsalok. Pagsalok ng isda sa kanilang mga timba. Ayan, nako, sarap kaya niyan.
Sa
ilalim ng liwanag ng buwan.
Sa dilaw na buwan. Tama ba?
Ano?
Sa
Kanino kanta yun?
dilaw na buwan.
Dilaw na buwan.
Oo.
Sino kumanta ang tanong ko?
Si Yellow, ay hindi.
Oh,
Si Lola
anyway.
ba?
Lola Amor?
Lola Amor ba?
Okay.
I-correct yung ano ba
So,
yun?
ayon sa mga tiga Sambuanga, sobrang bihira lang daw yung nangyayari yung ganyang eksena. Kaya hindi nila talaga pinalampas yan. Talagang, ayan, di ba, nag-fishing sila.
Sarap naman.
Imbis na,
Sa gabi.
imbis na,
Sa gabi, night fishing sila,
imbis na
no?
gumamit ka ng fishing rod, ito,
Oo.
timba-timba. Kasi look at that,
Wow.
talaga nagkukumpulan-kumpulan dyan yung mga isda na yan. So, ito ay isang fact para alam nyo po. Ang tamban, ang isdang pangunahing ginagawang sardinas po yan. Ang Zamboanga po, ang kilalang capital, sardines capital of the Philippines.
Oh,
Diba?
Alam mo, actually, bihira ngayon kasi tandaan ko, binalita na natin yan 2 years ago. So, ayan din, tuwang-tuwa din yung mga tao. Pero I'm not sure if it's in Zamboanga. Pero nangyari na rin yan. And I think nga, after din ng maliwanag na buwan.
Hinahabol niyata nila yung yung liwanag
Kawawa
ng
naman yung mga
buwan.
Si Juan Carlos pala kumanta ng
si
buwan.
JK ang kumanta. Okay, so,
ayan.
nako, I'm sure ang tanghalian, hapunan ng mga tiga Zamboanga ay
Sarap. Tamban. Okay. Diba?
Huwag lang sila sanang tumaba.
Parang hindi naman kasi healthy. At saka
Healthy fish.
maliit yata yan, ano?
Oo. Ano pa yung mga luto dyan? Pwede sardinas, igisa sa kamatis. Pwede siguro ipaksiw.
Ako gusto kong kilawin. Pwede ba ikilaw yan?
Masyadong pwede ba ang
Pwede
kilawin
ba?
yan? O pwede pinirito lang, di ba? O masarap. Ipaksiw. O itinapa daw.
Tinapa?
Samot-saring mga paraan para lutuin ang tamban. Okay, Ricky, ikaw naman. Can you beat that?
Yan naman, Pati.
Can you beat that?
Habang nakikisa tayo sa celebration ng wildlife this week, ito po ang gentle reminder sa lahat, sobrang ganda ng mundo, pero sobrang fragile din. Katulad na lang ng critically endangered lady slipper orchid na makikita sa Mount Matalingahan Protected Escape sa
ganda.
Rizal, Palawan. Ang ganda naman. Para siyang may salok.
Para may pocket, no? Oo.
Salok. Siyempre,
Salok.
supportan ko yung partner ko. Kung ano sinabi niya, yun din ako. Exclusive lang siya sa Palawan. And locally, tinatawag itong pengingilog.
Ayan, yung mga scientific names. Sige, ikaw. Parang penge, itlog. Nangingilog.
Ano ba yan? Kasi parang nangihingi siya,
Oo nga eh. Oo, penge.
O pengeng, sorry. O pengeng asili. Inspired sa eel-like patterns on leaves niya nakalituan sa kasili. Anong kasili?
Kasili? What is kasili? Oo.
Sorry.
So, ang ganda.
Nasamid ako doon.
And how nice the colors, no? Pink and
Oo,
green. Tapos
ang
may
ganda
parang
talaga.
samot.
Parang may ugat-ugat pa siya,
okay.
Ang orchid na ito ay patunay na kapag nawala ang habitat, nawawala rin po ang uri niya ng orchid na sa Pinas lang makikita. Samantala, ito naman hindi orchid pero ang pink hanging bracts. Agaw eksena din ang ganda. Endemic din niya, nakakalungkot.
Ang ganda. Uy,
ang ganda.
parang prutas, no? Oo.
Sa Pilipinas, at tumutubo sa malamig at shaded tropical rainforest. Isa po sa mga safe spaces niya, ang Northwest Panay Peninsula Natural Park, isang biodiversity hotspot sa Western Visayas kung saan patuloy pa rin siyang nabubuhay sa wild. Pero ito, dahil sa habitat destruction and climate pressure, paunti na ng paunti ang kapa-kapa. Mula sa Palawan at sa Western Visayas, now naman, let's fly to Brazil.
Aba?
Napakalayo naman, di
Oo.
man tayo nag-Luzon.
Oo.
Para sa isang pambihirang sightseeing. Kasi sa Brazil, Pati, may tree frog na posibleng maging kauna-unahang.
Tree frog naman.
Yes, pollinating amphibian. Ayan siya.
Ayun, ay.
Sa mundo.
It really looks like a frog. Tree frog.
Oo. Frog talaga siya, baby.
Frog siya talaga siya. I was going to say, it looks like a frog. Yung pala frog talaga.
Kakaibang halaman naman niya, kumukhang-mukhang frog.
Hindi, akala ko it was like an insect.
Oo, yan.
Okay.
Yan ang Senohyla truncata. Habang kumakain siya ng prutas at umiinom ng nektar mula sa milk fruit tea. Aba, may milk fruit tea.
May milk fruit tea sa Brazil.
Oo, nadidikitan siya ng pollen at habang lumilipat-lipat siya sa bulaklak, posibleng naipapasa niya ang pollen
Kaya
through accidental pollination. Dati akala po ng scientist, tama ka, insects and birds lang yung pollinators. Ngayon, reptiles, mammals, at baka pati frogs, pwede na rin. Amphibian naman.
Oo. I thought it was really an insect kasi parang ang liit di ba?
Sobrang
Parang
liit for a flower, no?
No, sobrang liit for a frog.
Oo.
Di ba? Froglet.
Froglet.
Froglet. So, ibang klase talaga noon, daming mga magagandang mga bulaklak. Sana talaga, maski na endangered species na yung mga binanggit mo sa Palawan at saka saan ba yung isa?
Sa Buanga.
Sa Buanga.
As in pa rin sa Buanga.
Hindi, oo. Yung sa Palawan.
Palawan.
Dapat sana
Sa
magawa
Panay.
natin. Panay.
Sa Panay.
Dapat magawa natin ng paraan para ma-hybrid yan, para pwede natin wherever in the Philippines, di ba? Para
Oo.
hindi mawawala yung breed. Like in Singapore, di ba? That's parang they're famous talaga for their different kinds of orchids. So, ayun, gagawa nila ng paraan kung paano na preserve para hindi maging extinct yan. Okay,
Ayan.
Ricky, ito na po ang ating swak na pasyalan dahil weekend ngayon. At malapit na talaga ang summer. Inabangan na lang natin ang anunsyo ng Pag-asa kung when summer officially begins. Pero ito pa para kayo gumawa ng inyong mga plans for this summer, lalo na pag wala nang pasok ang inyong mga chikiting, ito ang mga pwede nyong puntahan. So, sa LU, di ba?
LU.
LU is famous for their
surfers.
surfing.
Oo.
Surfing. Pero aside from surfing, kung kayo po ay naghanap ng ibang activity, ito ang pwede nyo gawin po dyan sa LU. Siguradong mafo-fall in love kayo sa ganda po ng
Siminublan.
Sige,
Siminublan.
Siminublan. Siminublan Falls na matatagpuan po dyan sa Santol, La Union. Look at that
Bakit
naman.
di ko nakita yan? Ano ko, La Union
So,
ako.
fresh water yan.
Wow.
May mga nag-chill at syempre nagtatampisaw at
Aba.
syempre kunyari nagmumuni-muni. Ayun, pwede ko mag-swimming dyan. So, kung ayaw mo sa dagat, ito sa falls,
Ayan.
fresh water, malamig ang tubig, tapos tingnan mo ang ganda
Napakaganda.
naman ng
Mukhang
scenery.
private lang, hindi napakaraming
Hindi pa masyadong tao. So,
Oo.
ayan pag po kayo magpunta dyan po sa LU, Siminumbulan Falls. Yan po ang
Galing
pwede
naman.
nyong puntahan sa La Union.
Ang galing naman.
Ikaw, Ricky, ano naman ang iyong pangpa-swabing balita?
Wala akong swabing balita, pero
Wala.
swabe kasi ang ating panahon ngayon.
Sige, asahan natin ngayong weekend?
At bumibida
panahon?
na ang Northeast Monsoon dahil kasama niya ang easterlies sa makakaapekto sa ating bansa. Magdadala ng mahinang pag-ulan ng Northeast Monsoon o amihan sa Batanes at Babuyan Islands. Samantala, habang makakaranas naman po na maulap na himpapawid na kalat-kalat na pag-ulan sa Ilocos Norte, Apayao, and mainland Cagayan. Habang ang Metro Manila at iba pang bahagi ng bansa ay makararanas ng isolated rain showers and thunderstorms, epekto naman ng easterlies. Mararanasan po ba may alas 3 ng hapon ang highest temperature na aabot sa 32.4 degrees Celsius at pilubog ang araw, mamayang 6:05 ng gabi.
Parang sinabi na talaga ng Pag-asa na parang the days of the cold weather is numbered na. So talagang nararamdaman na natin.
May humid na, no? Iba na.
mainit na. Pero
Oo.
pag maaga sa umaga, maganda pa yung mahangin pa
Pero hindi katulad nung nakaraan
Dati
na, no?
pwede tayo mag-sweater kunyari.
Diba? Kaya
Ngayon,
talaga sinagad natin yung sweater outfits
ngayon,
natin.
dapat parang, yan na nga, mga natural fabrics, yung mga cotton,
tama.
linen, na huwag na kayo mag-synthetic, kung hindi, papatak ang mga pawis ninyo.
Correct.
Okay. Sabi
Ito.
nga natin, pag itong weekend, binibigyan na natin sa ang ating mga motorista ng babala kung tataas o bababa ang presyo ng produkto. Pero dahil po sa nangyayaring gulo po dyan sa gitnang silangan, ayan, tataas po ang mga produktong petrolyo, lahat. Ito po ay mga tansya-tansya lang pero kinakausap po ng DOE ang mga oil companies na ibigay po ng utay-utay. Mamaya bibigyan natin ng we will expand on that. But just to give you an idea kung magkano na po ang itinaas. Ang diesel po tataas baka ng 15 pesos, hindi sentimos 15 pesos kada litro ang itataas. Ang gasolina, 7 pesos, 7 pesos kada litro. At ang kerosene, ang pinakamataas, 28 pesos kada litro po ang sinasabing tansya nilang aakyat. Sinabi po ng Department of Energy, uutay-utayin nga po ang dagdag presyo po sa mga produktong petrolyo sa susunod na linggo. Pero nagbabala rin po sila huwag po mag-hoard. Kasi makaka-disrupt talaga yan sa ating inventory. Diba? Sabi ng ating Pangulo, ng DOE, ang ating supply good for 45 to 60 days. So we have enough supply. But if we start to hoard, baka yung 45 to 60 days, baka bumababa sa 30 days.
Diba?
Kasi inaangkat na yung tinatago natin.
Tinatabi.
So wag, lang tayo, relax. Malay nyo, baka by next week, tapos na yung gera dyan sa gitnang silangan.
Ay, napaka-wishful thinking mo
Wishful
talaga,
thinking.
no?
Kakausapin ko na ngayon si Donald.
Kausapin
Tatawagan ko na mamaya.
Si Mang Donald, kausapin mo.
Si Donald Duck.
Ay, pero ito Ingat din po kayo as usual, yung mga fake news, kailangan pa mapagmatsyag tayo. Kasi for example, Patty, merong lumalabas na balita na bago daw magkaroon, pumutok, 2 days before pumutok yung Middle East War, speaking of Trump, bumili daw ang mga Trump ng milyon-milyong bariles ng langis. Nag-hoard sila. So, di ba?
May mga inside information kasi sila. Ay, nako.
Inside information or they create the situation.
Para makakumita sila. Di ba sabi nga nila talaga, ang gera, ano yan eh? Business
Negosyo talaga.
Kasi gumagawa ka ng mga barel, mga bala, di ba? Gagawa ka ng mga eroplano. Di ba? Yun ang mga ano doon eh. Uniforme ng mga sundalo.
Pero ang pinaka number one commodity nila, nagulat ako, akala ko dati weaponry. Langis talaga. Kasi ano ba yung kailangan mo para patakbuhin niya mo lahat, di ba?
Yung mga barko, yung mga eroplano, yung mga helicopter.
Pero alam ba, kung makita mo rin na yung mga in fairness naman sa American citizens, hati talaga sila. Pero mas nakakarami yata ngayon yung anti-war na. Meron nga na balita kagabi, nag-viral siya. Sundalo siya sa Amerika, gusto siya i-deploy. Talaga nabali na yung braso niya dahil ayaw niyang lumaban. Ayaw lumaban. Sabi niya, ang sinasabi ng mga Amerikano ngayon, marami sa kanila, na ipaglaban niya muna yung bansa niya. Hindi naman daw niya gera yun.
Correct.
And that's very far dati sa panahon natin. Pag sinabi dati ng ano mo, fight ka lang.
Kaya ka nga tinawag na sundalo, you follow orders di ba? Pero ngayon, woke na siguro yung mga tao, nag-iisip-isip na naman
you know
sila.
why I think kasi napakarami sibilyan. Yung tinarget ng, ang daming tinarget, mga eskwelahan.
Pero speaking of that eskwelahan, ano lang pa kwento, hanggang ngayon, wala pa silang mapatunayan eh. So, may eskwelahan ng mga bata daw, mga patay, walang mapakitang video or pictures. Kaya, sabi ng mga iba, baka propaganda lang yan para maawa. Kasi nobody has seen it. It was just reported. But people are asking, where are the pictures, where are the videos, where are those kids supposedly who died?
Supposedly nasa 2,000 na.
No, yung mga bata parang 12 or something. Kasi sa school.
Overall.
12 yeah, or something like that. I'm not sure. But that was what I read. Kasi sabi nila, kung meron talaga natamaan na eskwelahan ng mga bata, dapat may mga video. So, kaya mag-ingat po tayo dyan po sa mga fake news. Dapat talaga marunong tayo talagang kumilatis, be very discerning, don't be gullible.
Tama.
Don't be gullible.
Alam mo, kaya ito ingat kayo sa fake news. Alam mo kung ano viral ngayon sa internet? Si Kim Jong-un ng North Korea.
Bakit?
Kasi ang dami lumalabas doon ng mga memes, dahil siya na lang daw ang hindi iniimbitahan sa gera. Samantalang siya yung pinakamaraming laruan at armas. Tapos may mga meme naman na lumalabas na kasi daw, ayaw siya isama dahil talagang gagamitin daw niya.
Hindi siya magpapapigil.
Wala, hindi. Ang tagal-tagal na daw niya. Pero anyway, ayan po. So paalala lang po sa mga fake news. Kaya dito lang kayo makinig sa
be very, very careful.
Ito na. Wala naman ako swabe, may super panalo news naman ako.
Ano super panalo
dahil
news
isang
mo?
libong pamilya po sa Bulacan, malapit na mag-level up ang buhay. Level up na level up dahil may bagong tahanan na sila sa ilalim ng pambansang pabahay para sa Filipino program. Ayan yung tinatawag na 4PH. Isipin mo yon, mula sa pangarap na sana magkaroon kami ng sariling bahay, ngayon magkakasusi na po sila. Hawakan ang susi. Layon po ng 4PH na gawin mas abot kaya ang pabahay para sa mga pamilyang Pilipinong matagal nang nagsisiksikan sa renta o nangangarap lamang ng mga maayos sa tahanan. At tignan mo, parang kondo na talaga. At habang tuloy-tuloy ang mga proyekto ng pamahalaan, mas marami pang pamilya magkakaroon ng disenteng tahanan para sa kanilang pamilya.
Ayan. At tinan mo, very high-rise na, yung kanilang mga condominiums. Si Secretary Pinggoy, talaga, 1,000 families dyan sa Bulacan. Congratulations po.
Sana i-maintain nila yan.
Na malinis. Correct. At saka yung kapaligiran nila.
Kasi talagang pagkakaroon ng tahanan talaga, pagkakaroon ng dignidad.
Diba? Iba talaga yung pagmamalaki mo, yung pagod mo, yung hirap mo, meron ka masasabing, amin to.
Kaya sa paalala lang po sa mga mga recipients, pamilitin po natin maayos yung ating community. Diba? So, hindi dapat, diba, yan na yung tahanan nyo. Kahit gaano kaliit ang tahanan, basta inyo maalagaan. Remember your friend nung bumisita sa ating interior designer, no?
Si Cecil.
Sabi niya, kahit gaano kaliit, basta maayos mo, madekorasyonan mo ng naayos sa'yo. Ayan, ito naman, Patty.
Okay, ito.
Ako pa rin ba yan? Ikaw na ngayon.
Ako na.
Ikaw na.
Inago mo yung papel ko eh.
Oo, diba? Oo nga, no?
Di ba? You're excused. Okay, because it's a weekend, ito po sa mga mahilig sa art, mga art enthusiasts. Ayan. The long wait is over kasi po, next week, March 15 po, babalik po ang Art in the Park sa Salcedo Village, Makati City para sa kanilang annual one-day art fair lamang. March 15 po yan, Sunday yan. Sa ika-20 selebrasyon na ito, siguradong mabubusog ang mga mata ninyo with its 55 exhibitors from galleries, collections to student artists ng mga masterpieces. So expect fresh voices at established names like Bjorn Calleja, Marina Cruz, Charlie Co, Robert Alejandro, Yo Kaa at si Agnes Arellano. Ang mga ibebentang mga artworks dito po ay hindi lalagpas po sa 70,000 pesos para mapanatiling kayang bilhin po ng mga art aficionado. Ang portion po ng sales ay mapupunta po sa Museum Foundation of the Philippines para sa preservation ng Philippine cultural heritage. May live music at mga food stalls din para busog sa mata, busog din po ang tiyan. Yung mga, very interesting pumunta dyan sa mga art exhibits na yan kasi makikita mo talaga walang pinipili, hindi lang yung pang mayayaman, pati yung all walks of life pupunta dyan, basta mahilig sa art, di ba? Kasi talagang iba yung interpretation mo, di ba? Lalo na pag mga yung mga, tin mo, very nice, so wholesome, di ba? Kung abstract yan, kunyari,
ano bang klaseng gustong art ang gusto mo?
Ay, hindi. Gusto ko yung maaliwalas, watercolor. Gusto ko yung mga light or pastel colors. Ayoko yung mga dark. Ayoko yung mga abstract. Kasi hindi ako magpapanggap na naiintindihan ko.
Ako naman yung gusto ko.
Abstract?
Gusto ko abstract.
Parang sumasakit yung ulo ko. Parang ano bang gustong sabihin nito?
Para mag-isip-isip. Kasi alam mo na, overthinker ako, di ba? So, sakto sa akin yun kasi na-exercise yung aking utak. Pero sometimes I just appreciate the color.
Yes. Ayun, I like color. Light colors, mga landscape. Gusto ko yung mga ganyan.
Hindi tayo mag-aaway pag tayo ay mag-bidding kasi ako naman gusto ko yung mga oranges, mga dark. Ayan, yung mga pula. Ayan.
Gusto ko yung happy talaga. Yung parang, pag tingnan mo, happy vibes ka talaga. Napapangiti.
As they say, art is, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Okay, Ricky.
Akin na talaga to.
Yun na.
Ito ang iconic love bus. Ito na may love bus?
Yes! 150, naalala ko yan. Nung nag-umpisa ang love bus, lagi kami ng cousin ko ni Maya, sumasakay kami dyan from
Ayun ba may double deck?
No, it's the blue bus.
Okay.
150 aircon. It was the first aircon
One
bus.
pesos and
1 peso and
50
50 centavos ang pamasahin noon.
Wow! 19 ano yan?
Mga in the 70s.
Okay.
Mula Cubao to Ayala or Cubao to Escolta.
Talaga meron ka taga-nunal sa talampakan mo, no? Ito. Ako naman nung growing up, natatandaan ko yan. Nakita ko sa kalsada yan. Aside from the double-decker, natatandaan mo may double-decker.
Sa may Rojas Boulevard yung double deck.
Ito na nga po. Pwede kayo magmuni-muni ulit because the Love Bus is back at may free rides na en route from Robinson's Gallery
Uy,
to
malapit sa bahay ko yan.
City. Tara. Sunduin mo ako doon sa San Juan. Bilis.
Hindi naman siya aabot
Hindi pala, mag-u-turn ka. Pumuntahan na lang kita. To Eastwood City at pabalik. Ang target launch niyan ay late April or early May. Ayon po sa MMDA, 10 electric Love Bus units ang ide-deploy sa kalsada. Kada bus, kaya magsakay ng 30 passengers. Hindi lang yan basta libreng sakay. Layunin nitong to reduce pollution, ease traffic jam, and give comfy rides to all the passengers. Ang matindi, electric yan, kaya eco-friendly.
Ayan, tipid. Hindi ka kailangan ng gasolina.
Diba?
Ayan si Faraday, yung may Faraday Go, kapatid ni Secretary Frederick Go. Robinsons, kaya pala Robinsons. Malapit yan sa akin. Dati sa Ayala, bababa kami doon. Naku, wala na yung intercon. Sa may intercon, di ba?
Wala na intercon.
Tapos yung sa Cubao, sa Alimol. May Alimol pa rin.
Okay. Grabe ang Alimol, ang tibay. Ito, samantala, binisita naman ni President Bongbong Marcos ang bagong gawang Kamuning Footbridge and Busway Station sa Quezon City. Ang Old Mount Kamuning Bridge, ayan yung matirik, ay mataas, delikado at hindi accessible. Kaya yung sinasa-ayos to give way sa bago, ligtas and more people-friendly bridge. Kasama sa ang First Lady po natin na si Liza Araneta Marcos at si Vincent.
Si Vinny, the controversial son.
Alam ba magaling yan ang tawag doon yung rollerblades at saka skateboard. Yes, si
diba?
Vinny.
That's the controversial son. Yan po ang anak na si Governor Dan Fernandez.
Yan. Desdo.
Ha?
Fernandez do.
Fernando ba? Fernandez. Basta yun, Bulacan.
Ginugol lang kita.
Oo nga.
At Acting Transport Secretary Giovanni Lopez para tingnan ang finished product.
Ayan, ang
Ayan.
ganda oh.
Nakakatuwa.
Tapos nakita ko nga yan sa news kahapon
Oo.
Ang ganda-ganda pinakita, may elevator pa yan.
Finally.
Oo, para nga sa mga may kapinsanan, yung
Tama.
mga wheelchair,
Oo.
whatever. Ayan, pinakita
Napakalinis
yan, may
patignan,
elevator. Pero,
Oo.
may in-interview sila na
Oo.
isang commuter. Sabi niya, nung ginamit daw niya at 7 a.m.,
Oo.
gumagana daw yung elevator. Nung pabalik na siya, 9 o'clock, hindi na daw gumagana.
Oo.
Kaya ginawang news item nga yan Kaya calling po sa DOTR. Kailangan yung i-check ulit yung elevator na yan. Ayan, that was
tignan
the
mo.
girl.
Oo.
This was the girl who used it. She said she was
Okay.
able to use it
In the
going
morning.
in the morning at 7 a.m. And then, nung 9 o'clock, biglang hindi na niya nagamit, nasira. So, ewan ko kung nasira or na-shut down. So, ayan
okay.
po. Okay, punta na
Anyway.
po natin ng palitan po ng piso kontra dolyar. At ito na nga po, alam na po natin, parang produktong petrolyo, tumataas po, lumalakas po ang dolyar, humihino na naman po ang piso. Nagsara po ang piso sa halagang 58 pesos and 63 centavos kontra dolyar. Humina po siya ng 6 na sentimo po kumpara po sa naging palitan noong Miyerkules sa halagang 58 pesos and 57 centavos. Narito naman po ang palitan po ng ibang currency. Sa Japan yen, 37 centavos. Sa euro, 68 pesos and 17 centavos. Hong Kong dollar, 7 pesos 49 centavos. At ang Saudi Riyal, 15 pesos and 61 centavos. At ang source natin, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Ricky,
Yes.
siksik na siksik, maski na Friday. Ano yung ating issue number 1?
Ito, marami pong boss. Ang akala, mabait sila. Pero ang totoo, iniiwasan na nila ang mahihirap na usapan at desisyon. Kumbaga, the hard conversations.
Yes.
Kapag ipinagpapaliban ng aksyon, pabago-bago ang patakaran at sobra sa pagiging easy-easy, ito yung unti-unti nagpapahina sa teamwork. Kaya naman sa ating unang issue, pag-uusapan po natin ang mga boss na kung tawagan ay people pleaser. Paano ba sila ma-detect?
Yeah.
Pag-usapan po na ito. Kasama si Juan Rafael Opsima, isang clinical psychologist.
Ayan, mga people pleaser. Kasi minsan yung mga boss, ayaw nilang nagagalit yung mga
Oo.
subordinates nila
Oo.
So, parang okay lang, chill-chill lang. Pero kung kunyari, kailangan may i-effect na mga patakaran yung opisina
Mas nahirapan.
mula sa mga, kunyari, mas matataang boss. Paano mo sasabihin? Paano mo i-deal? Kung nasanay na sila na hindi ka, kumbaga, hindi ka strict.
Hindi ka
Diba?
firm.
Hindi ka firm.
Pwede
Oo.
naman maging mabait
Oo.
na firm ka pa rin. Kaya,
Pero you have to be firm.
Ako
Oo.
talaga-
You have to set the boundaries
ay, ako am very
also.
lucky dito sa sisip-sip lang ako. Kasi malapit na yung payday friend. Totoo. Ang gusto ko dito sa mga boss natin dito, for me, personal experience ko, stricto sila in a way, pero yun yung gagabayan ka. Hindi naman yung mga terror boss. Yung mga terror boss na talagang, alam mo yung dadaanin ka sa gimbal. Pero ito, talagang ginagabayan ka hanggang mas mapabuti mo yung trabaho
Correct.
mo.
Oo, dapat constructive criticism.
Correct.
You shouldn't,
Oo.
if you're going to be critical, you have to be constructive. Yung hindi ka lang pintas ng pintas
Oo.
for the sake of, di ba?
Oo.
Kung baga, you have to offer an alternative. Kung baga sabihin mo, huwag mo ginagawa
Tama.
yan.
Yan, alternative.
So dapat sabihin
Oo.
mo, kung paano mo dapat
Oo,
ginagawa.
kung ano
di
yung
ba?
pagkakamali mo. Tayo naman
Yes.
bilang mga empleyado,
Oo.
maganda rin na we keep an open mind. Lalo
Oo,
na kung
huwag
boss
kayong
natin.
masyadong
Oo.
sensitive.
Oo, ayun, ang daming
Oo,
sensitive
maraming sensitive.
Nung generasyon natin kasi hindi naman tayo
Wala.
sensitive, Gen
Tiis.
X. Oo. Kaya yun, ayun, I'm very thankful.
Okay.
Ayun ang gusto ko na boss.
Okay.
Diba?
Okay.
Ikaw naman. Tama na, sip-sip na ako.
Oo
Okay
nga,
na.
sobra na.
Good morning, si RV.
So yun po ang issue number 1 po natin. Ang issue number 2 naman po natin, ako very interesting po ito. Kasi nga, alamin po natin yung kalagayan po ng ating mga kababayan po dyan sa Israel. Unfortunately, the first casualty was of a Filipino was reported in Israel. Ito yung caregiver, si Mary
Yes,
Andevera, di ba? Na habang tinutulungan niya yung kanyang alaga, siya po at saka yung alaga niya ay napatay sa shrapnel. So sa Israel po yan. So kakausapin po natin yung ating ambassador to Israel, si Miss Ambassador Dana Kirsch. Siya po ang ambassador of Israel to the Philippines. So tatanungin rin natin, kamusta rin ang ating mga kapatid sa Israel, mga kababayan na nasa Israel, ano bang tansya nila hanggang kailan itong kaguluhan. Kasi ang Israel at ang Estados Unidos ang nagsanib puwersa. So maybe she can also give us an overview, an insight of what's happening or, their take.
It's very interesting kasi
Oo.
at least talaga there's
Yes,
na point of view.
ambassador
Oo,
mismo
ambassador
makakausap
mismo.
natin.
Sa Russia, napapadeport na di umano ni President Putin
Oo.
yung mga Israelis na nandoon.
Pinapabalik na niya sa Israel.
Oo.
Okay.
Ito naman, issue number 3 po. Naghain na ng kasong perjury si VP Sara Duterte laban kay Ramil Madriaga sa Taguig City Prosecutor's Office. Matapos umano nitong magsumite na affidavit na naglalaman ng mga maling pahayag laban sa kanya. Marigi tinanggi ni Duterte ang mga aligasyon at sinabi na hindi niya kilala o naging tauhan man lamang itong si Madriaga na anya'y isa ring akusado sa kasong kidnapping. Kaya naman alamin po natin ang estado nito mula sa legal counsel mismo ni VP Sara ni Attorney Salvador Paulo Panelo Jr.
Junior. Yung gwapo. Ito yung gwapong anak po talaga ni Attorney Sal, di ba? Okay. At bago tayo mag-commercial break, ito po ang ating question of the day. Dahil nga Friday, chill-chill lang tayo. Let's take a break from all the hard news. Ang boss nga po na people pleaser daw ay isang leader na laging inuuna ang pagpapasaya sa lahat ng tao kaysa daw sa paggagawa ng mahihirap. Ngunit kinakailangang mga desisyon. Ayan. Bagamat mabait at maunawa ang ganitong uri ng boss, maaari daw itong magdulot ng problema sa team. Kaya ito ang aming question of the day. Para sa inyo, ano ba ang mga dapat katangian ng isang boss? Ayan, no? So, anong hinahanap ninyo sa isang boss? Mag-comment lamang po kayo sa aming Facebook account at hanapin lang po ang Net25 News and Information at makibahagi po sa aming talakayan online. At magbabalik pa po ang ASPN.
Ano sa palagay nyo?
Ang sigaw ng Pinoy Nation. Ang sigaw ng Pinoy Nation.
Alas 8:39 na po ng umaga at bago po tayo pangunahing news, gusto ko munang batiin po si Tito Johnny and Tita Julie de la Cruz on their 61st wedding anniversary. And yung si Cedric and Pam Villagomez po from Orange County on their 31st wedding anniversary and birthday rin po ni Cedric Villagomez. Yan po ay mga kamag-anak po ng aking kaklase na si Leslie de la Cruz. Baka hindi na ako bigyan ng pagkain ni Leslie next time. Kaya kailangan ko nang batiin ang kanyang parents, si Tito Johnny and Tita Julie de la Cruz. Imagine, 61 years married.
Diba? Your age.
Oo nga, no?
Diba?
Tama, kinasal sila 1965. Okay. At ang oras muli, alas 8:40 na po ng umaga. Narito na po ang ating sinundang pangunahing news ngayong araw ng Biyernes. Thank God it's Friday, March 6. Sang-ayon po ang mga kumpanya ng langis sa staggered o paunti-unting pagtataas sa presyo ng produktong petrolyo na planong ipatupad ng Department of Energy simula sa susunod na linggo. Ito po ay ayon kay Energy Secretary Sharon Garin, voluntaryo ang staggered price increase sa panig ng mga oil company dahil nalulugi sila sa ganitong pagpapatupad ng dagdag presyo. Malalaman anya ng DOE ngayong weekend kung magkano ang magiging dagdag sa presyo simula Martes sa March 10. Umiiwas po ang DOE at ang mga oil player sa spekulasyon para maiwasang magdulot ng labis na pangamba sa publiko. Pero base po sa 3 araw ng trading sa Mine of Platte, Singapore, lumalabas po na posibleng tumaas ng 28 pesos kada litro po ang kerosene. 15 pesos, 15 pesos po kada litro naman po sa diesel at 7 pesos po kada litro para sa gasolina. Nagbabala rin po si Garin laban sa hoarding o ang pag-iimbak ng produktong petrolyo para maiwasan ang pagkaubos ng reserves ng mga oil company. Magpapatupad ang Department of Trade and Industry ng Flexible Work Scheme simula naman po sa Lunes, March 9, bilang tugon sa panawagan po ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. para sa pagtitipid sa petrolyo. Work from home tuwing Biyernes ang mga job order at contract worker sa DTI, maliban po sa mga nasa frontline function. Online po ang lahat ng transaksyon sa DTI tuwing Biyernes. At ayon naman po sa Employers Confederation of the Philippines at Management Association of the Philippines, bukas ang pribadong sektor sa pagpapatupad rin po ng Flexible Work Scheme, pero nilinaw nila na maaring hindi ito magawa sa ilang sektor. Ipinaalala naman po ng Federation of Philippine Industries na kailangan matiyak na hindi nito magugulo ang produksyon, mga delivery schedule at supply chain flow. Isinisisi po ang labis na pagtaas ng presyo ng produktong petrolyo sa kasalukuyang gulo sa gitnang silangan mula nang umatake ang Estados Unidos at Israel sa Iran. Pero ayon naman po kay US President Donald Trump, hindi siya nababahala sa tumataas na presyo ng gas sa Amerika. Mas prioridad pa rin umano niya ang operasyon ng militar ng Estados Unidos. At mabilis din naman po anyang bababa ito pagkatapos po ng gulo sa gitnang silangan. Nauna na pong sinabi ni Trump na maaring umabot po ng 4 hanggang 5 linggo ang kampanya ng militar sa Iran. Ricky,
Samantala,
nako.
dismayado naman si Vice Presidente Sara Duterte sa tinawag niyang nakabingbing katahimikan o nakabibinging katahimikan ng mga civil society groups. Sa iba pang mga grupo sa mga aligasyon ng korupsyon kaugnay ng mga anomalya sa mga proyektong pang-infrastruktura. Ayon kay VP Sara, habang mabilis na ginawang sentro ng mga pagdinig, mga privileged speeches at mga investigasyon, ang mga alegasyon laban sa kanya, aba ay masyado namang tahimik sa issue ng korupsyon sa mga proyektong pang-infrastruktura, ang mga civil society groups, mga religious leaders at mga mambabatas. Pinuna pa niya na tila walang interes o agarang aksyon ang kasalukuyang administrasyon para imbestigahan ang katotohanan sa likod ng bilyon-bilyong pisong suhol sa flood control sa International Court at sa tangkang pag-i-impeach sa kanya. Wala tapatan niyang pinipili ang galit sa mga isyu ng korupsyon. Tinukoy din ni VP Sara ang patuloy na pagsusulong ng Kamara de Representantes ng impeachment complaint laban sa kanya. Formal na ngang inatasan ng House Committee on Justice si VP Sara na tumugon sa 2 verified impeachment complaints na idineklara ng sapat sa forma at nilalaman. Binigyan ng komite si VP Sara ng 10 araw mula sa pagtanggap ng notice para tumugon. Hindi na umano maaaring palawigin pa ang ibinigay na palugit. Base po sa tala ng Kamara, natanggap ng Office of the Vice President 10:44 ng umaga kahapon, March 5, ang nasabing dokumento. Nakatakdang magpulong ang House Justice Committee sa April 8 para talakayin ang tugon at mga dokumento kaugnay ng kasong impeachment. Nagbabala ang komite na may mga katapat na kahihinatnan ang kabiguang magsumite ng tugon sa loob ng itinakdang palugit. Happy?
Okay, at ang oras, alas 8:45 na po ng umaga. At ito na po ang ating unang panauhin. Si Ginoong Juan Rafael Opsima, siya po isang clinical psychologist para pag-usapan nga natin itong mga people pleaser na boss. Ayan, ano bang people pleaser? Does it only affect us in the workplace or sa mga relasyon natin sa mga kaibigan, sa mga kamag-anak? Ayan, magandang umaga po, Sir Juan Rafael. Ano pong palayo? Rafi? Shall we call you Sir Rafi?
Ayan po. Magandang umaga,
Sir.
Ma'am Pat, Ma'am Ricky. And this po, you can call me Rafi po, ma'am.
Okay,
Ikaw ka ni Early Bringas, ha?
Ako ay kasalamin. Okay, Sir Rafi, let's start. Maybe we can start by defining what is a people pleaser ba yan? At kasi nga, ito, we are centering, we're going to about it, yung people pleaser as a boss in the workplace. But maybe para sa kalaman rin ng mga tao, ano ba ang people pleaser?
Okay. So una-una ma'am, in layman's term, pag sinabi kasi nating people pleaser, we're looking for attention, para tayong nakikiusap para sa favor nila. So kumbaga dito, this is something a Filipino toxic sa workplace lang din, no, na para makuha natin yung likes nila, we tend to adjust even kahit hindi na rin tama at lumalagpas na rin sa boundary natin.
Oh, okay. So, if we're going to translate that sa workplace, when you say people pleaser boss, ano yun? Parang nagiging, kumbaga siya ba is it a good thing to be a people pleaser boss o masama?
Una-una kasi kung ang pinag-uusapan natin yung pagiging people pleaser, yes, nakakasama to. Una-una kasi pag sinabi natin people pleaser, minsan ito yung mga hindi ka makapagsalita ng no. Tapos you cannot be strict to the extent na pati yung output doon sa company ninyo or department ninyo naaapektuhan. Dahil ikaw din, as a boss, nahihirapan ka magsabi ng no. At the same time, iniisip mo yung tao lagi compare doon sa progress sa isang department.
Oh, of course, Doc, di ba, napag-aralan naman natin nung tayo ay bata, iba-iba talaga yung leadership styles ng mga bosses. So, bilang ako, halimbawa, isang boss, how do I know what should be my threshold, halimbawa? Kasi yung iba laissez-faire, that's what I remember, di ba, nang pinag-uusapan natin yung mga styles of leadership nung sa eskwelahan. So, ano po yung, siguro sa sitwasyon po ng Pilipinas, sa ating kultura, what do you suggest po yung mga boss na nakikinig sa atin? Anong pinakamagandang estilo siguro? O depende ba yan sa industriyang ginagalawan mo?
Well, una-una ma'am, titingnan rin talaga natin yung industriya. But in general term, ang boss kasi, hindi katulad to noon kasi nag-i-improve bawat generation, Unlike 90s, 80s, talagang very strict. There's no few empathy. But kasi ngayon generation na to, kung tatanungin natin, ano nga ba dapat katangian ng pagiging boss? Unang-una, there should be strict and at the same time, flexibility na tinatawag natin. Alam ng boss kung kailan niya kailangan maging stricto and maging flexible. So pinaka-importante rin kasi talaga dito is how would you give empathy din sa mga employees mo without taking consideration na ikaw naman ay magiging kumbaga sunod-sunuran sa kanila. So kumbaga well-balanced, Kumbaga sa kape, talagang tama ang timpla mo. Something like that po.
Okay. Oo. Pero yun ang it's a very thin line, when does one become a people pleaser? When does one, sabi mo nga dapat balance, flexible, pero at the same time dapat strict. Kailan dapat nagiging strict? Kailan dapat yung medyo parang relax ka lang? Ano yung mga ano ba yung mga suggestion mo para po hindi naman po kumbaga extreme, sobrang people pleaser pero sobrang stricto rin naman. Saan po yung balanse? Saan po natin pwede hanapan yung balanse?
Una-una yung toleration. For example, kailan ka nga ba nagiging strict? Kapag sa isang unit ninyo, for example lang po alam mo may pagkakamali. So I think papasok talaga yung tinatawag nating rules and regulation dito. Kasi first of all, this could serve as motivation sa employees mo na ay teka, mabait si boss pero stricto siya. So doon po papasok Pero naman malalaman mo pag hindi ka naman stricto kahit mali na, tinotolerate mo pa rin. So yun pa lang, yung fine line pa lang din kung ano yung tama at mali, you would need to balance it, So yung tinatawag natin, ito-tolerate mo ba na masama yung nagawa ng employee mo? Hahayaan mo lang ba? Another thing, fine line po dito, yung pagiging mabait. Iba po kasi yung tinatawag natin pagiging mabait na hinahayaan mo na yung mali, okay? At yung mabait na, okay, na pinuna mo, pero meron tinatawag na criticism or positive criticism na okay, ito yung mali mo, so ano yung gagawin natin? May mga ganyang boss na okay, hahayaan lang nila, at iba naman, hindi nila lang hinayaan, pero at the same time, kinonstruct nila in a good way. So yun po yung mga fine line na isang boss ma-consider sa kanilang workplace.
Okay.
Pero for me, ang parang beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Ang kabaitan din is in the eye of the beholder. Parang sa akin, gusto ko ng stricto na boss, pero ginagabayan ako. Yung iba, sensitive na ngayon, Doc? Yung henerasyon ngayon. What can you say about the employees of this generation now when dealing with the strict bosses?
Well, to be honest with the generation, kasi iba ang generation natin noon. Ang generation ngayon, mas maganda sa kanila, mas lesser work time, more leisure time. Unlike tayo kasi talagang 8 hours hard work, may mga ganyan. But
At gusto natin ng overtime pa, no?
Yes. At the same time naman, as generation pass, nakita naman natin ibang company nagkaroon ng improvements na sumasabay. For example, may mga mental wellness leave, may mga free services for counseling. So I think with that habang nagbabago naman yung mga individual, nagbabago rin ang konsepto ng workplace as time goes by.
Pero Rafi, ito ang aking question. Yung pag ikaw ba'y people pleaser, does that apply to all or selective rin yun? Kasi minsan sinasabi may mga favoritism si boss. Si boss, favorite niya ko si Ricky. Pero ayaw niya, hindi niya si Pat P. Yung ganon, minsan ba, pag ikaw ba isang people pleaser, does that apply to all or selective ka?
It can be the both, ma'am. Ano, it can be. Meron kasi tayong tinatawag ng ibang individual, ayaw nila ng conflict. So, conflict avoidance eh. Kumbaga, ayaw nila ng conflict, so better, hanapin ko na ng approval ng lahat. May mga ganyan. Meron din naman na selective na, teka kasi ito malakas kay boss. So dito ako magiging mabait. Yung iba, wapakils ka. No? So it can be both, no? Depende dun sa individual. As long as meron silang gain, no? Kasi kung ang gain mo is, ay para hindi ako i-criticize sa mga tao ko, magiging people pleaser, magiging pleaser ako. Susunod gagawin ko yung mga request nila. Ayan. Yung isa naman, ay teka, anak to ni boss or kamag-anak, kailangan ko maging mabait dito. So it can be both, ma'am.
Ang tawag doon user. Doc, di ba? Ang tawag doon user, hindi people pleaser. Siguro
At
po,
some point.
di ba? Pero Doc, di ba? Siguro yung iba naman talaga are naturally just very nice people, very gracious, alam mo yon. So talagang hindi siguro sila lumaki na may conflict sa kanilang bahay. So what are the effects po kung mayroon man ang pagiging people pleaser na boss? Kung halimbawa, di ka talaga sanay magalit. Di ba? Parang ako, di ako marunong magalit. Di ba? Paano po yung may long-term effect po ba yun sa workplace, for example?
Okay. Pag pinag-uusapan natin yung hindi nagagalit, that is a good temperament, no? Pero kapag pinag-uusapan natin dito is, if ikaw lagi nagpi-please sa individual at ikaw lagi yung, alam mo, nag-a-adjust, then yung growth sa isang department or workplace ninyo would not be beneficial kasi you tend to adjust for them, not to adjust with the workplace itself and yung growth. So I think that's the long-term effect, no? Nahihinder yung opportunity as a unit when the boss or the leader is actually adjusting for everyone. I think that's one of the most no. And at the same time siguro din dito in the workplace dun sa mga nagtatrabaho, they would feel na ay teka, parang stagnant kasi hindi nag-i-improve eh, 'di ba? So I think that's something yung magiging effect. And hindi lang din siguro yun but also sa individual, no. You would seen as a weak leader na you tend to be, alam mo yung you tend to please. So parang pag nagalit sila, ikaw pa yung mag-a-adjust, ikaw pa yung kawawa. So something like that, no?
Pero is it also kunyari ikaw ay boss, no? Managerial level, mid-level. Yung hinahayaan mo, sige, bahala ka kasi ayaw mo nga ng confrontation. Tapos, mo na lang, i-refer mo kunyari sa HR to take care of the problem.
Delegate na.
Or i-escalate mo na lang sa pinaka-upper management, kayo na lang, pero ayoko yung mag-deal with that. Is it an option even for them?
Well, to be honest, no, as HR, no, although there's grievance, there's a facet of difference sa HR, no, pero as the manager kasi, you are the leader itself. If you're gonna delegate po sa HR, well, the question here is yung credibility mo, no, and yung accountability mo as a manager to perform and manage certain individuals. So I think with that, may magagawa si HR, but most of the decision making will come from the manager itself. Kasi kung ganon, maapektuhan din how other managers sees you. Lalo na kung ikaw yung manager na mahilig na mag-refer sa HR. Para kasing questionable na sa mo yun eh. Sa unit mo as a person also.
So I'm very curious lang, Doc, in your clinical assessment, in your professional assessment, kamusta naman po ang leadership ng boss, kumbaga ng leader natin dito sa Pilipinas? Hindi ko masabing boss natin dahil tayo yung boss niya. But what about the leadership style po of President Marcos? Kamusta naman po siya? Is he doing the people-pleasing thing? If that is his style, ano po yung komento niyo naman tungkol dito? Ano yung pwedeng i-improve, for example?
Well, to be honest naman, no, with our administration, to be honest, marami na nagdaan na leader and they have their own strengths and then they have their own weaknesses. But as far as I can see, I think with the crisis right now, syempre ngayon no, na may gulo, I think the administration is doing what seems to be the best. Although I think there is certain things na kailangan din i-improve, lalong-lalo na with the communication with the Filipino people. No? Such as yung mga, ang dami pa rin kasi hanggang ngayon yung mga fake news, yung mga tao nagpapanik, although we see efforts, but I think there is something na meron pang pwedeng i-improve sa ganong situation.
Kasi if you, the contrast is very stark, ano? Yung leadership style ni former President Duterte and leadership style ni President Marcos ngayon. Ano? What do you think would work better sa Philippine setting po? Yung leadership style ba po ng former president o ng presidente natin ngayon?
Well, in terms with that, kasi kung i-compare natin, both of them have their strengths and there's something to improve. But if you're gonna ask my opinion right now, no? Well, I think parang parehas May strength sila, may weakness din. So I could say na, well, right now, kasi mas nararamdaman ko, I can say with the administration right now.
Okay. Sige po, maraming salamat po Doc Rafael Opsima para sa iyong mga para alam natin maintindihan natin bakit may mga tao na people pleaser, ayaw nila ng confrontation, people really avoid it, and there are really different leadership styles. So thank you very much po. Happy Friday po sa inyo Doc.
Weekend, Doc.
Thank you po. Thank you. Magandang umaga po ulit.
Ayan po si Doc Juan Rafael Opsima po ang ating clinical psychologist. At ang oras, alas 8:58 na po ng umaga. As King's Empire Corporation celebrates its 7th anniversary, may 1 milyong pasasalamat raffle promo ang handog para sa inyo. King's Empire Corporation 7th anniversary celebration, 1 milyong pasasalamat, balik lakas, balik sigla, hatid ay pag-asa at saya raffle bonanza 2026. 5 lucky winners po ang mananalo worth 1 million po in cash prizes ang ipamimigay. Plus 21 consolation prizes na makakatanggap po ng business package mula sa King's Empire Products. Bilang pasasalamat sa 7 taon ng tiwala at suporta, ito po ay para sa inyo. Kaya bumili na po ng King's Herbal Plus Empire Coffee at Scents by Savalgar. Promo runs from March 3 to November 30 with a grand draw on December 8, 2026. Para po sa karagdagang katanungan, bisitahin lang po ang kanilang official Facebook page, REH King's Empire Corporation o ang King's Herbal Plus. Balik lakas, balik sigla, hatid ay pag-asa at saya. At ang oras, alas 9, in punto na po ng umaga sa aming pagbabalik. Nako, very interesting po ito. Makakausap po natin Ambassador Dana Kirsch. Siya po ang ambassador po ng Israel to the Philippines. Sa pagbabalik po yan ng ASPN.
Ano sa palagay nyo?
Ang sigaw ng Pinoy Nation.
Oras! Alas 9:02 na po ng umaga. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang ating pagbabalita sa World News. Tumugon ang Navy ng Sri Lanka sa isang distress call mula sa Iranian warship sa Indian Ocean na napalubog ng torpedo mula po sa isang submarine ng Estados Unidos. Nagpadalo ang Sri Lanka Navy ng mga barko at eroplano para sa isang rescue mission sa Iris Dena ng Iran na may sakay na 180. Pero wala na pong naabutang barko ang mga rumuspende. Tanging bakas ng langis, mga life raft at mga taong palutang-lutang ang dinatnan nila. Nakakuha po ang rescue crew ng 87 bangkay. Wow! At nakaligtas sila sa 32. Dinala sila sa isang ospital sa Gales sa Sri Lanka at nasa critical na kondisyon po ang isa sa kanila. Ayon po kay US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, prize ship ng Iran ang Iris Dena. Kagagaling lang ng Iris Dena sa isang multilateral naval exercise na inorganisa ng India sa Bay of Bengal mula February 18 hanggang February 25. Patuloy po ang investigasyon sa insidente. Wow, no? Kawawa naman po yan.
No?
At sa oras, alas 9:03 na po ng umaga. Hinihintay lang po natin ma-establish yung linya dahil po kami po ay nagagalak at makakausap po natin ang ambassador ng Israel po sa Pilipinas, si Ambassador Dana Kirsch. Kasi nga marami tayong gustong pag-usapan with her. Ito nga sumiklab po na gera po dyan sa gitnang silangan. yung estado po ng ating mga kababayan dyan po sa Israel. Ano po ang nangyayari ngayon dyan sa Israel, di ba? Kasi nga, I'm sure maraming pumupunta na sa kanilang mga bomb shelters dahil sila po ay sinusubukan rin syempre tirahin ng Iran, di ba? So, it's very volatile. We don't know how long this is going to last. We are all hoping na sana po ay matapos sooner than soon. At tayo ay makabalik po sa medyo maginhawa, mas normal, di ba?
No? Pero ayun ang actually, may imbitasyon ako galing sa aking Israeli na mga kaibigan. Meron dapat kaming mission dyan, yung parang charity na gagawin bago sumiklab yung gera. So sabi ko, baka naman, syempre in English, ano? Sabi ko, baka naman di na ako makabalik ng Pilipinas. So sabi niya, of course, for them, para sa mga Israeli na talaga nakatira doon, even sa Tel Aviv, it's very safe daw sa kanila.
Kasi they have that dome to protect them. But maski na paano, nakaka-penetrate na yata. We will ask the ambassador. Ito na po, kasama na po natin sa linya si Ambassador Dana Kirsch mula po ang Ambassador to Israel po dito sa Pilipinas. Good morning po, Ambassador, Madam Excellency. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, magandang umaga. Wonderful to be with you.
Okay, Madam, Your Excellency, it's very difficult now to assess what's happening in Israel. Maybe you can give us first an update on what's happening in Israel before we go to the other details of like how our fellow Filipinos are faring right now in Israel.
First of all, thank you for having me. And the first and foremost thing I would like to share is my deepest condolences to the family of Marianne Rivera from Pangasinan that lost her life on the 28th of February, the day that we start this Operation Roaring Lion, to basically stop the Iranian fanatic regime from doing its wrongdoings. So my heartfelt condolences to her direct family, her husband, her parents, and of course the entire Filipino people. I'm saying that not just behalf of me, but behalf of the Israeli people and leadership, because it is a very, very tragic event that we will try to embrace this family as much as we can.
Thank you. Anyway, I was asking Madam Ambassador, what is the situation right now in Israel? How is it?
Yes. First of all, the Israeli people are very, very resilient. And then the Israeli people, I can extend and say that it's the Israeli people and all foreign workers, including your amazing more than 30,000 Kababayan OFW that are in Israel. And what you see in the pictures now is really the results of Iranian ballistic missiles that had been launched on Israel again and again for the past couple of days and mainly for the past 2.5 years. So the Israeli government instructed our military together with our additional intelligence services to monitor the Iranian regime and understand what are their planning. And what we guarded and understood that that's the sense of urgency of these events is that they are proceeding in their plans of having nuclear weapons. They are continue on constructing more and more ballistic missiles with a range that can easily get to Israel, as you can see in the pictures. And additionally, they are funding and arming proxies. And the proxies are terrorist organization called Hamas in the Palestinian, and the Hezbollah in Lebanon, and the Houthi in Yemen. So all these activities are causing the devastation that you just now see in the pictures of homes being ruined. And unfortunately, till this date, from the past 6 days, we have 10 casualties. Our beloved Marianne, and I'm allowing myself to call her our because I feel that she's also ours, and she's part of our extended family. An additional 9 people that lost their life while they were in a bomb shelter. You know, between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, we have in the middle a city called Bet Shemesh. And unfortunately, people were running and rushing and entered their shelter. But the efficiency of this ballistic missile, that we were not able to intercept people. Out of them, 4 children. Out of them, 3 siblings of the same family, 13, 14, 16.
Well,
So in total,
on that note, Ambassador, we would also like to offer our condolences for the lives lost in Israel. As I was telling Pat P, I have many good friends who are from Israel, and they're telling me, there's really nothing to worry about. But this was prior to the current crisis now in Israel. My question here now being is that there are over 30,000 Filipino overseas workers there in Israel. Most of them are caregivers or in domestic service, right? So are the OFWs, we call them OFWs, are they fully integrated into the defense plan of Israel, for example? They don't have to line up or to register if, for example, they really need to run to the bomb shelters, despite, being guaranteed that, for now, there's nothing to worry about. Ma'am?
Each and every one of the OFWs are part and parcel of Israel. And they are getting the same security measurement as every Israeli, because once you are in Israel, you are part of us. So there are basically 3 layers of security. The first layer is the instructions of the Home Front Command that are being shared both in English. The second thing is that everyone can install in his own app a very easy to use, a very user-friendly app that informs you when there's a siren and what to do. And the third thing is, of course, we have our military capabilities of trying to intercept all those missiles before they are entering the area of Israel. So every Filipino, like every Israelis, is very resilient. And once he and she are following the instructions and going to the bomb shelters, and the accessibility to the bomb shelters is the same to Israelis and Filipinos alike, and other foreign workers, of course, you can see in many of the pictures people in the shelters, shoulder to shoulder, because it's very tight on occasion, Filipinos and Israelis and other nationalities that are basically showing a lot of resilience while they are obeying the laws and going into the shelter in order to protect themselves and to help the Israeli Defense Forces and the Israeli leadership to protect them.
But, Madam Ambassador, I was asking Ricky a while ago. I know that Israel, that's why you're saying very resilient, no, and they feel protected. It's because of that dome. How does the dome work? Just for to visualize it. And is it business as usual in Israel? I mean, are people, going about? Do they still go to work, to school, or are they hiding in their bomb shelters? What is it like now in Israel?
Okay, so first of all, you made with your hands
the
inspiration of the dome.
Yes.
But it's basically a virtual dome.
Yeah.
You don't see it because it's basically operation system on the ground that are monitoring whenever there's an Iranian ballistic missile being launched from Iran. And we have around 2,500 kilometers between Israel and Iran. So it gives us enough. We have a lot of intel. We are monitoring. The moment we see a launch, a Iranian ballistic missile being launched, we automatically know how long it will take him to fly. It's around 10 minutes on occasion. Depends on the capabilities of the missiles or the drone. And then what we do is we notify the Home Front Command to issue the different sirens alerts in Israel. And there are different sirens we are trying to target just the areas that the missile can reach, not to keep all of Israel all the time in constant alert of sirens. So it's very, very directed to a specific area. And this kind of dome is basically, we have the Iron Dome, which is a machinery that basically tracking the missiles and able to basically blow them up before they enter the sky of Israel. In addition, we have the Arrow and other systems, and that is creating this kind of so-called dome that is very, very efficient most of the time. But, we cannot seal ourselves. If we could have been really a physical dome,
Yeah.
that would have been able to seal itself completely. So we are trying to seal as much as we can. And I have to tell you that I don't know if you remember, you and your viewers, both of you, in April last year, there was one night that the Iranian had launched 400 missiles in one night.
Wow.
And we were able to intercept
Intercept
99% of
Yes.
them. So this is the uniqueness of the Iron Dome. And can you remind me the second part of your question, Miss Patsy?
The second part was, how is it now in Israel? Is it business as usual, or are most of the citizens in the bomb shelters, not hoping, but protecting themselves in the eventuality that Iran strikes again?
The Israeli people, together with our OFWs and other foreign workers, it's a kind of, we are all soldiers in fighting now against this Iranian fanatic regime. And it has to be a concentrated effort of two sides. The Israeli Air Force is keep on launching bombs and destroying as much as missiles as possible, but at the same breath, we need to have the Israeli people and the OFWs and other people who are now residing in Israel to help to protect them. So the reality is that from 28th of February, there is more restrictions towards going out to work and going out to school in order that you'll be in a very, very close distance to a bomb shelter if, God forbid, a ballistic missile, Iranian ballistic missile, is able to intercept the Iron Dome and enter Israel. So we are trying, of course, to live as much as we can normal life in an abnormal situation. And there is a line of the government when to ease the restrictions, because people want to go out and like the kids will go out to the park and other things and go to school, of course, and go to work. But we have to keep balance in order to protect our citizens and, of course, including our OFWs that are in Israel now.
Okay, of course, ma'am, we are all praying, the world is praying that, this de-escalates already. But, we have to really be, realistic about it. That I don't think anytime soon that it will de-escalate. In the event that it actually escalates into a regional war, how would the Israeli government coordinate with the Department of Migrant Workers and the Philippine government itself? Would there be a contingency, is there a contingency effort now and plan to actually bring back the Filipinos in case it really escalates into a regional war?
First of all, and first and foremost, I think that we are all united in the prayers of this situation not escalating. There was no intention, but the Israeli government, when it reached this understanding that we have to go to this roaring lion operation, and at the same breath, together in full partnership with the American allies that take out this simultaneously epic fury operation, we do not want it to escalate. The one who chose to escalate it is the Iranian fanatic regime that instead of launching only on Israel, when he's calling to death on Israel, he's been launching also ballistic missiles at all of his allies in the Gulf and even Cyprus in Europe. And that's one of the reasons that it is such a grave concern for the entire globe, not just for Israel. But regarding to your question, the partnership that Israel has with the Philippines at large and with the DMW and OWA is, and of course the DFA and its representative Eileen, the Filipino ambassador in Israel, and her team, is a very tight partnership between us and them. I have to first and foremost, before I will share with you what is the partnership, I want to salute the DMW leaders and the OWA. Secretary Dak and Administrator PY are doing a phenomenal job. And I've been privileged of meeting them and even hosting them for dinner at my home. And you see that their heart and mind are with how to make the life of every OFW all over the globe and their families feel comfortable and enjoying the situation. That is in time of routine. And when it's time gets to time of crisis, like the situation we have home there now, we have more than you will have more than 2 million OFWs in the Middle East.
Yes.
30,000 of them, as you know, are in Israel.
In Israel.
There are different level of alerts, it's now the DFA decided it's level 2, so there's no compulsory repatriation. But whomever wants to repatriate, we will try to help as much as we can. I have to proudly say that our Israeli Filipino OFWs are amazingly resilient, and most of them, the majority of them, do not want to repatriate.
No.
But of course, we will keep on being in touch with this triangle of DFA, DMW, and OA to make sure that every OFW, if he or she feels unsafe, that they want to repatriate back home, we will do our utmost to help making it happen as soon as possible. And I
That's
see
very
that
comforting to hear.
That's nice to know,
Yes,
Madam
yes.
Ambassador. Madam, I was going to ask, Madam, last year, unfortunately, there was also a 12-day conflict between Israel and Iran, and that thankfully, in 12 days, it was wrapped up, with U.S. President Donald Trump mediating. Now, President Donald Trump has made has said that they're capable of extending this 4 to 5 weeks. What is Israel's position here? Are you also going to agree with with U.S. President Trump that you can also fight this out 4 to 5 weeks? Are you open to going back to the negotiating table for a ceasefire?
I think that we need to understand that the one who chose not to go in the negotiating table with the open heart really is the Iranian fanatic regime. President Trump extending his deadline again and again, but at the end of the day, understood that there's no other option. And what I'm so proud is that there is a very, very close partnership and cooperation and intel sharing between Israel and the Americans. And we both realized that we have to operate now, because what the Iranian fanatic regime led by Khamenei had done is, because of the campaign that you mentioned, the operation that you mentioned, which called back then Rising Lion, that was very successful. But it did not lead the Iranian to the negotiation table. It led them to build bunkers deeper in the ground more, to be able to put their ballistic missile capabilities and their nuclear capabilities deeper inside, that no B-2 bomb can touch them. And in the middle of those 12 days, President Trump had launched a B-2 on a nuclear facility and was able to damage it tremendously. But both of us, we joined Intel and we found out that they are creating bunkers really extremely underground that will make them immune, that they can continue developing both the nuclear capabilities and their ballistic missiles. So for that reason, we had to retaliate. Now you're asking for the timing. I had to explain the sequence and the rationale. I think that when you are in the midst of war and when the Iranian regime does not want to go back to the negotiated telephone, you don't say 48 hours, 28 hours. You give a duration, and you give, if you're quoting President Trump, of 4 or 5 weeks. What the meaning of that is saying that the Israelis and the Americans have the might to keep on fighting. I have to say that we are very successful. 30 of the ships, the Iranian ships, have been demolished. Their air capabilities are almost diminished at all. So the intention is not to prolong. I'm sure that both at the American administration, but I'm not their spokesperson, but I know that the Israeli leadership does not want nor to escalation and nor a long process. We want peace. The aim is we have to make sure that this Iranian fanatic regime that for 47 years has been inflicting so much harm and so much pain and so much murdering its own people and murdering Americans and Israelis alike and calling death on America and death on the state of Israel will be out of the pictures, and God willing, the Iranian people will choose a different leadership. And then we can reach peace and stability in all the Middle East and have stability in the entire world. And that is the reason for this concentrated effort, both for the Israeli government and army and of the American administration and their army.
Okay, madam, like, not everybody knows, but I know that the relationship and friendship between Israel and the Philippines has been so long-standing. As a matter of fact, it started after the 1930s when very few countries were willing to accept the Jewish refugees, correct? In the 1930s, it was the Philippines, one of the very few countries who actually received with open and warm hands and arms, the Jewish community. I think there was about 1,200 who who sought refuge here in the Philippines. That's why
so right.
I know that the friendship and the relationship has stood a long test of time already. And in fact, even even the Prime Minister before acknowledged that recently. And speaking of recently also, we have developed very good partnerships. We have entered into partnerships into agriculture, into cybersecurity, in technology. Now, my question is, would this crisis now in the Middle East between Iran and Israel affect the partnerships that were entered upon in the recent years? Would Israel be able to sustain the partnerships like this, like with other countries as well in the ASEAN region?
Yes, we are doing that exactly now, because the only way to fight this kind of fanatic regime is to find a balance between normalcy and abnormalcy, to keep on fighting the front of getting this regime away, but to keep on the partnership. So if you will just look at my week here as an ambassador of the State of Israel, I started my week with meeting the mayor of Pasig, and then I had met a very, very successful leading law firm to think of other additional ways to provide more B2B partnership exactly in the sector that you mentioned. It's cybersecurity and agriculture and water solution and so on and so forth. And of course, and then I of course have done also a press conference, and I'm being interviewed with you about the war. But we have to work in two tracks to keep on the amazing partnership that you are so rightly saying. But Manuel Gazon had done a very courageous and took a bold decision in 1937 to rescue 1,000, almost 300 Jews before they will perish in the Holocaust. And since then, the partnership is only getting deeper and deeper. In 1947, the only Asian country that voted yes for the establishment of the State of Israel was in the UN was the Philippines. And when I presented my credentials to President Marcos, the first thing he had chosen to share with me is his own visit to Israel. He went to one of the farmer communities and saw irrigation solutions. And he wants us to continue on this partnership. And I had just met him, and the honor to be with him on the same stage just this January to inaugurate together a treatment water plant in Bacolod with an Israeli technology. So you see that despite the war, the ongoing partnership is a must, because that's the way all the world has to fight these kind of extreme regimes that are trying basically to terrorize us, to cause us to be in a constant situation of not doing anything, closing down. So I refuse what I'm doing as a representation of what my country is doing. We will continue reaching us to our friend. We value the friendship with the government, with the leadership of the Philippines and with the Filipino people. There is an ongoing work that started in October 7th, 2023. But despite the war, we had two ministers here. We had the Minister of Tourism that came in December 24, and we had the Minister of Economy just came last July, and together with Secretary Roque, declared that together Israel and the Philippines are starting negotiation on a free trade agreement. So the aim is to just continue our amazing partnership and not surrendering to people who want to terrorize us and to cause us not to stop investing in the future of our nation and the future of our people.
May I add, it's only Israel that doesn't require Filipinos a visa. It's visa-free to enter Israel, right? Unlike in the other Middle Eastern countries wherein you have to get a visa, Filipino has to get a visa. But Israel, visa-free. But Madam, I know, Madam Ambassador, we don't have much time left, but I'm just curious. You mentioned a while ago, and I don't know if you should say it's good news when you said that 30 ships have been demolished, in the Iranian side, and the air assets also, it's dwindling. But does this mean now that are there talks? Oman has already, as a mediator between Israel and the U.S. and Iran, Oman has already is standing as the mediator. Are you back at the negotiating table? Or at least is there a ceasefire that we can expect soon?
You are very informed. You are mentioning Oman itself. And Oman was the only nation in the Middle East that Iran did not launch missile in these past 5 days, but they have done afterwards. Yeah. Because at the beginning, they kept it immune because it was a mediator to the peace. But Iran had chose to bombard also her ally, Oman, and the other allies in the GCC, in the Gulf countries. We will keep on fighting, but we will keep on fighting also for peace. So it's not an endless war. The point is to target all this fanatic regime that had caused so much death in Iran itself, in Israel, in the United States, and all over the globe. And once they are out of the picture, we hope and pray that the Iranian people, that we don't have any fight with it, will choose the right leadership, and God willing, as soon as possible, we will have peace and stability, peace with Iran, and God willing, even peace with some of the Muslim nations here in our neck of the woods, here in the Asia area.
Okay, Madam. Thank you very much, Madam Ambassador. It was very enlightening to talk to you, and we hope everybody wishes everybody well. Hopefully that we will see a closure to this conflict that's happening right now in the Middle East. And maybe I was saying I don't know if we will be able to experience world peace in this lifetime, but I'm hoping that it will come sooner than soon. Correct? We all want peace.
Patsy and Ricky, I just want to say, first of all, thank you to both of you. Maraming salamat po. And you are right. The hope for peace is the only thing we are relying upon. And we will keep on relying on this. And thank you for having me.
And we hope that you can join us again soon, Ambassador. I hope you can join us again next time again to give us an update as this continues.
I will be there. We are celebrating the day after tomorrow, Women's Day. And I enjoyed so much. It's such two intelligent, brilliant journalists. It's an honor to be at your show, and I would love to do it again.
We will invite you. We will have
and
you
maybe
soon.
here live next time.
Thank you very much,
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And that was Ambassador Dana Kirsch, Ambassador of Israel to the Philippines. Thank you very much. At ang oras, alas 9:32 na po ng umaga. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin po ang ating pagbabalita. Iginit po ng grupo ng 18 nagpakilalang mga dating Marine na hindi sila konektado sa anumang kampong politikal. Nanindigan sila sa kanilang mga alegasyon kaugnay po ng bilyong-bilyong pisong umano na mga kickback mula sa mga flood control project. Humarap po ang 11 sa 18 ito sa isang press conference kahapon. Kasama po si dating Congressman Mike Defensor. Nangyari ito bago sila sinampahan ni dating Senator Antonio Trillanes IV ng reklamo para sa perjury sa Department of Justice. Nauna na pong sinabi ng grupo sa pamamagitan ng affidavit na nagsilbi silang tagahatid ng mali-maletang pera na konektado daw sa isang 805 billion peso flood control corruption scheme. Hinatid umano nila ang pera sa ilang personalidad, kabilang na po dyan ang ating Pangulo, si PBBM, dating Speaker of the House, Martin Romualdez, at dating Akoy Bicol Party List Representative Zaldico. Nagtrabaho umano sila kay Zaldico at bukod sa hindi umano sila konektado sa anumang kampong politikal, wala rin anilang nagpopondo sa kanila. Lumantad lang nila sila para magsalita tungkol sa alam nila sa mga sinasabing anomalya kaugnay ng mga flood control project. Kahapon, kinasuhan na po ni former Senator Trillanes ang 18 nagpakilalang mga dating Marine. Inireklamo naman niya para sa cyber libel ang abogado nila na si Levi Baligod, dating Congressman Mike Defensor, dating broadcaster na si Jay Sonsa, ang vlogger na si Cathy Binag at dating National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict spokesperson Lorraine Badoy. Sa expose po ng 18 nagpakilalang dating Marine, sinabi nilang tumanggap si Trillanes ng $2 million mula kay Zaldico para sa investigasyon ng International Criminal Court sa drug war ng Administrasyong Duterte. Itinanggi po ni Trillanes ang aligasyon, pero kinumpirma niyang nakikipagtulungan siya sa mga investigador ng ICC. Naniniwala naman po si Ombudsman Jesus Crispin Remulla na may motibong pangpolitika at ekonomiya ang mga aligasyon ng grupo. Sinusubukan umano ng grupo na udyuking mag-aklas ang isang sangay ng Armed Forces of the Philippines. May idea na umano sila kung sino ang nasa likod ng ginagawa ng grupo, pero kailangan pa nila itong mapatunayan. Grabe, no? Puro demandahan. Sa gitnang silangan, putukan. Dito, demandahan. I sue you, you sue me, I sue you.
Ayan tuloy, wala na.
Hay, walang katapusan.
Sabi nga ng ating mga kababayan, paano naman kami, wala na kang ginawa dyan, kundi magdemandahan. Paano naman kami nandito sa Middle East, baka naman pwede nyo kami bigyan ng konting pansin, di ba?
Nako.
Sa halip na demandahan kayo ng demandahan. Samantala, okay po. Nasawi naman po ang dalawa at sugatan. Ang 4 matapos sa pamamaril sa loob ng isang privado condominium complex sa Barangay Marcelo Green, Parañaque City. Naku, nakakashock po itong video nito kagabi. Ayon po sa pulisya, isang residente ng condominium at unit owner ang suspect na bumaba mula sa kanyang unit at nagtungo na lang sa basketball court kung saan siya nagpaputok ng baril. 6 na kataong tinamaan ng bala at kaagad dinala sa ospital. Subalit, 2 po ang idineklarang patay habang ang 4 ay nasa stable na kondisyon. Base sa investigasyon at ko sa CCTV, nakita ang suspect na namaril sa loob ng court. Nakarecover sa scene of the crime operation sa Soko ang mga basyo o ng mga basyo ng 9mm na bala at 2 deformed na bala sa lugar. Mayroon umanong 2 baril na nakarehistro sa pangalan ng suspect. Patuloy pang iniimbestigahan ng pulisya ang motibo, subalit pinaniniwala ang may personal na alitan sa isa sa mga biktima matapos ito magreklamo noon sa security tungkol sa suspect. Nakatapos ang gunman matapos ang insidente at kasalukuyan pang pinaghahanap ng mga otoridad. Samantala, nanawagan ng hustisya ang mga pamilya ng biktima at humihiling na mas mahigpit na seguridad sa condominium.
I saw that nga sa news eh. Sabi ko, grabe no, nagbabasketball ka lang, tapos biglang may susugod at mamamata.
Hindi mo talaga alam kung kailan darating.
Correct.
Ay, pati pa mo kung bumate kasi babatiin ko lang dahil nakatutok sila kahit sa international news. Meron ako mga Israeli best friends. So hello, good morning and happy viewing all the way.
From Israel?
From Israel, but they're in Bali now. To the Feldman family, especially Yaniv and Liatoulier, who is also now in Israel. And they're saying that they are good there, so we don't have to worry about our Filipino community also there, because the ambassador was correct.
Yeah.
The Jewish community really protect also the Filipinos there. So
be
happy
safe.
viewing.
So still be safe, di ba? At ang oras, alas 9:36 na po ng umaga. Sa aming pagbabalik, makakausap po natin si Attorney Paulo Panelo Jr. Siya po ang legal counsel po ni Vice President Sara Duterte dahil naghain na po sila ng reklamo laban kay Madriaga. Sa pagbabalik po yan ng ASPN.
Ano, sa palagay nyo?
Ang sigaw ng Pinoy Nation, ASPN.
Oras! Alas 9:39 na po ng umaga at ang oras na ito hatid sa inyo ng IMAC UPVC Roof Corporation. Absolutely rust-free. IMAC. Oras muli, alas 9:40 na po ng umaga at kasama na po natin via Zoom ang napakapogi. Nako, si Attorney Paulo Panelo.
Mas pogi sabi mo.
Mas pogi sa tatay niya.
Oy, pero sabi
Mas bata, syempre.
Mas bata, pero pareho na sila ng por ngayon. Tingnan mo ang handkerchief ni
Aba!
attorney. Alam mo na napansin mo pa, Pi? Lahat ngayon ng mga Paulo, ang daming Paulo ngayon na puro poging bata.
Nako, yung anak ko dyan ang nangunguna.
Of
But I don't
course.
agree na lahat ng Paulo Pogi. Si
O,
Attorney
Paulo,
Panelo,
Atiolo
Paulo
pala yun.
Panelo at yung anak ko. Definitely. Magandang umaga, Attorney Paulo. Welcome back po sa ASPN.
Good morning, attorney.
Magandang umaga, Pat and Ricky.
O, tingnan mo, lumalaban ang handkerchief na yan,
Talagang
attorney.
improvement of the race, di ba? Okay, Attorney Paulo, kami po ay napatawag dahil nga kahapon nasa laman ng lahat ng news, no, mga periodiko, na si Vice President Sara ay nagsampa na ng kaso laban po nga kay Madriaga. So ako ang unang katanungan ko, bakit medyo may katagalan? Parang binitawan po ito ni Madriaga, if I'm not mistaken, as early as November last year.
Last year pa, no?
March na tayo ngayon. Why did it take the Vice President like 4 months after before she filed the case against Madriaga?
Hindi naman. It came out December. It was executed November 29, but
Yeah.
it came out
Sa
the
news.
second week of December.
Okay.
Tapos hindi naman talaga siya priority kay VP Sara because, you know, her policy is usually just to deny malicious accusations. It's not a priority for her to deny or go after these people because wala naman silang credibility from the start. Kaya lang, ginamit na siya sa impeachment, which is a very important process which can affect the will of the people, subvert the will of the people. So, may hangganan yung polisiya na yun, di ba? Ang priority niya, of course, is to serve the people, pero pagka ginamit na yung mga malicious and baseless accusations na ito sa isang importanteng procedure, isang importanteng proseso like the impeachment, hindi na pwede yan. Kaya minabuti na niya na panagutin niya si Madriaga para sa mga kasinungalingan niya.
Oh, so, attorney, sa tingin niyo po ba talagang ganong kalakas po yung kaso ng perjury na isinampan niyo po laban kay Madriaga para po talaga malabanan itong ang mga pagkakasangkot ni Madriaga kay VP Sara sa impeachment rap laban sa kanya?
Yes, we are super confident. Hindi talaga magkakilala si Vice President Sara at saka si Ramil Madriaga. Kaya hindi na namin inantay yung impeachment para sagutin. Inunahan na namin. Nag-file na kami agad ng perjury. And of course, as we know, the lawyers know, mas mataas yung evidence required for a criminal case. So we're that confident. We're willing to meet that standard. That won't necessarily be the case in the impeachment.
So you're confident that you have all the evidences gathered against Madriaga?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So Attorney Paulo, you are confirming that VP Sara doesn't know Ramil Madriaga at all. Kasi may mga lumabas rin ng mga kwento na binisita pa nga ni VP Sara si Madriaga sa kulungan because he's there, no? He's in Camp Bagong Diwa for kidnapping and ransom naman, no? For a different charge. So, totally, kasi ang kwento niya, kasama siya sa close insecurity, no? Na hinatid nga daw niya yung pera kay Vice President Security Officer si Colonel Dante La Chica at kay Colonel Dennis Nolasco. So he has no connection whatsoever with the VP. They've never met. The Vice President doesn't know him at all.
Or, paano Patpi, attorney, kung may ilabas siya ng mga retrato nila na talagang kasama siya doon sa kanyang detail, no?
Nakasama siya sa detail.
Paliwanag ko lang po, the only connection of Ramil Madriaga to VP Sara is that Ramil Madriaga is friends with Attorney Ryan Kilala. Attorney Ryan Kilala was an associate dean of San Sebastian Law, where the Vice President took up her law degree. Si Attorney Kilala and si VP Sara reconnected after she graduated and they became friends. Now, si Madriaga naman tsaka si Kilala, kaya sila magkakilala, kaya sila magkaibigan was because si Ramil Madriaga in 2003 was in jail for another kidnapping case. But he was acquitted by the Supreme Court in 2003. And the lawyers that handled that for him was the San Sebastian Legal Aid.
Okay.
So doon niya nakilala si Attorney Kilala.
Kilala.
So they developed a friendship. And then sometime in 2020, they became close. In 2020, barkada sila eh. So sinasabi ni Ramil Madriaga na crush niya daw si then Mayor Sara Duterte. Parang biruan.
Okay.
So sinabi ni Attorney Kilala, kung gusto mong ma-meet si Mayor Sara, gumawa ka ng support group, campaign support group, para kumbinsin siyang tumakbo for president.
Oh, okay.
But it was a joke.
Oo.
But this Ramil Madriaga took it seriously. Bumuo siya ng grupo. Yun yung Isip Pilipinas.
Okay.
So yung Isip Pilipinas, and you can't make this up. Si Attorney Kilala kasi is, apart from being a lawyer, he's also a part-time stand-up comedian.
Oh.
So ang background niyan is part of his material in his stand-up comedy is yung Isip Pilipinas. Sabi niya, gagawa ako ng grupo, ang pangalan Inday Sara is my president. Para kung mag-slide down siya as VP, Inday Sara, ikalawang pangulo, pwede pa rin. Pero wag lang siyang tumakbong senador kasi magiging ISIS Pilipinas. Yun yung joke niya. Okay, so si Ramil Madriaga, hiniram niya yung Isip Pilipinas na pangalan kay Attorney Kilala, and then binuunan niya. So, ito nagpapatunay na, one, hindi inutos ni VP Sara kay Ramil Madriaga na buuin yung Isip Pilipinas. Kasi yun yung allegation niya eh. Pangalawa, merong mga virtual meetings, pictures of virtual meetings na lumabas online. Of Isip Pilipinas, of Ramil Madriaga with VP Sara. Parang they say that's proof of a relationship, of a close relationship. But if you go to the Facebook post of Isip Pilipinas, these are group meetings. Not just with Ramil, but with a lot of members. Hanggang the other call nga was 67 participants. So madamihan yan. And hindi si Ramil Madriaga ang nag-facilitate ng meetings, kundi si Attorney Kilala. So, si Ramil Madriaga requested Attorney Kilala if he can ask VP Sara for an audience, and the Mayor Sara at the time said, sige, pwede tayo mag-virtual meeting. So we have a text message from Attorney Kilala setting that up. And then we have other evidence to show also na hindi magkakilala. Like itong picture that you're showing on screen. That's the inauguration. We have testimony from both Attorney Kilala and the events organizer for the inauguration that Ramil Madriaga was not invited to this event. It was actually... Hindi naman. It was actually Attorney Kilala that was invited to represent Isip Pilipinas. But then he couldn't make it, so he messaged the RSVP number to say,
proxy, parang nag-proxy itong si Ramil Madriaga.
Ramil Madriaga will
Kilala.
invite me. So that's why nandyan siya. Tapos, to prove that he's not special, we have the testimony from the events organizer saying na these photo opportunities, ang daming tao niyan. From 6 p.m. to 12 p.m., midnight, nagpa-unlock si VP Sara ng pictures with not just guests, but even onlookers from the street.
So parang...
Tapos, para lang wala ng question, we attached all 1,200 pictures of that night with all of this.
1,000. So, Attorney Paulo, just to clarify, you are denying because in his affidavit, sinabi nitong Madriaga na he was introduced to her by her own father, former President Rodrigo Duterte, and he worked for the National Security Council and Presidential Security Group during the Duterte administration. So he wasn't even part of the PSG of Duterte's administration.
Yes, it's completely false.
Fabricated to.
Fabricated. We have we don't only have testimonies from two former PSG commanders to say that they never met, encountered any Ramil Madriaga while they were in PSG. But we also have an actual certification from the PSG, now the Presidential Security Command, that there has been no Ramil Madriaga that was ever employed, assigned, or designated in the PSG. And importante yun, Pat, because Kaya niya sinasabi na part ako ng PSG, part ako ng group that formed the VP-SPG is because he wants to establish credibility kung paano siya papasok sa grupo. Diba? So, basag na basag siya dito. Wala talagang may kilala sa kanya. And even more than that, ang sabi nung mga taga-PSG, you know, Ramil Madriaga, with his criminal record, even if he was acquitted later on, these kinds of people are the type that we screen and we don't allow them to get near the president or the vice president. So he's not even qualified to get near them or have a meeting, let alone be entrusted with protecting them.
The security.
Right.
Correct.
Ako naman, Attorney Pao, ito na nga, di ba, nabanggit mo nga na may crush, kahit na pabiro, may crush itong si Madriaga kay then Mayor Sara. Tapos bumuo pa siya, tumulong siya na bumuo ng grupo called Isip Pilipinas. So kahit paano, meron kang investment, may emotional investment ka, may pagmamahal ka kahit paano eh. Kahit na biru-biruan, kumbaga may malasakit ka at that time. So ano po yung sa tingin nyo, ang tunay na nag-udyok dito kay Madriaga na EFO po, si VP Sara? Feeling ba niya na busted po siya? Ano po ba yung naging dahilan talaga? Bakit ngayon ay talagang nag-iingay siya?
What we do have and what we presented in the complaint affidavit of VP Sara is a text message or a Facebook Messenger message from Ramil Madriaga to Lieutenant Colonel Dennis Nolasco. Ang sinasabi niya doon, kay Nolasco, yung confidential funds, sabihin mo na lang, binigay mo sa akin, ako na lang magpapaliwanag. Kasi ako, parang wag ka lang makulong. Ako, okay naman ako, magiging state witness ako. So yun it reveals a motive. Diba? Mukhang ikapalit itong gawa-gawang testimonya na to in connection with his current case and his current detention. Mukhang yun ang kapalit. Mukhang makakalabas siya kung tinuloy niya to.
So, Attorney Paulo, ikaw ba, do you think Ramil Madriaga is acting on his own or may backer siya? Meron bang bigger conspiracy theory ito? Or ito lang, no, si Ramil lang, acting on his own?
Definitely may backer to. I don't see how he can do this on his own. And I'm not sure, Pat and Ricky, if you heard na allegedly may death threat daw sa kanya.
Yeah, it's here. Madriaga offered 500 million to 1 billion for silence.
Ang sagot namin dun is we don't want him harmed at all. We want him alive because one, he's the only one, siya lang makakaamin na gawa-gawa lang yung testimonya niya. Pangalawa, siya lang makakaturo dun sa handlers niya. Diba? Tapos kung tindigan niya yung testimonya niya, we want him to come forward kasi meron siyang mga allegations na overly broad and hindi ma-verify. Like, walang petsa, walang exact location, walang mga full names ng mga naka-enkwentro niya. So we want him to provide these details para mas lalo namin siyang madiin, mas lalo namin siyang mabasag yung testimonya niya kasi alam naman namin kasinungalingan lahat to eh. So we have no interest at all to stop him from testifying. Or keep him away from court. We want him to expose himself as a fraud. Kaya, diba, sagutin niyo na lang yung kaso, mag-testify na siya para magkaalaman na.
Ako, sige. So, abangan natin yan. So, sa tagig nyo, final, na-raffle na ba? Alam na ba nyo kung saan? Kailan ba mag-umpisa mga hearing? Matatagalan pa yan?
Ay, naku ma'am. Sa ano pa lang po kasi ito prosecutor's office pa lang. So, yung prosecutor's office muna magde-determine ng probable cause. Kung merong probable cause, tsaka palang mapa-file yung report.
Okay, sige, Attorney Paulo. I'm sure babalik ka pa, magiging sugi ka na rito. At ang dami-dami mong sinasampang mga kaso. Meron pa sa Supreme Court. Ngayon dito sa Taguig. I'm sure.
Ang dami ng cast of characters, Attorney Pao. Madaragdagan pa ba yan? Nakikita ba
parang laki ng kinikita na ngayon ni Attorney Paulo.
Ang mandate namin kay VP Sara is to be more proactive in protecting her against these malicious accusations. So, yes, it might not be the last time na magpa-file kami ng kaso against a malicious accusation
Against VP Sara. Okay, thank you very much again.
Thank you, Attorney Pao.
Salvador Panelo Jr., Paulo for short, counsel po ni VP Sara Duterte. Thank you!
Happy weekend!
Happy weekend! Thank you!
Happy weekend!
Happy
Bye-bye.
weekend! At ang oras, alas 9:55 na po ng umaga. Ito po ang ating showbiz pasilip ngayong Friday!
Yay!
Nako, ayan, medyo konektado pa rin to sa mga nangyayari the other day, lalo na yung kay Congressman Bong Suntay. Ang pelikula nila Ann Curtis at Jericho Rosales, ika-4 na linggo na po sa mga sinihan. Ako, pinanood ko ito the other day.
Kailangan ko yata panoorin yun.
Oo. Patuloy po na napag-uusapan ngayon ang pelikulang The Loved One na pinagbibidaan po ni Ann Curtis at Jericho Rosales matapos po itong umabot sa ika-4 na linggo sa mga sinihan. Ang balita ko nga, more than 200 million pesos sa box office. Samantala, hanggang ngayon po ay wala pang pahayag o paramdam si Ann kung nakabalik na po sila sa bansa mula sa Oman kasamang kanyang mister na si Erwan Yusuf at ang kanilang anak na si Dalia. Dahil po dito, ang management team ni Ann, ang Viva Entertainment po, naglabas na po ng opisyal na pahayag bilang tugon sa mga naging komento po ni Congressman Bong Suntay. Ayon po sa Viva, hindi umano nararapat na maisangkot ang pangalan ni Ann Curtis sa mga pahayag ng kongresista. Lalo na't wala naman itong kinalaman sa isyong tinatalakay. Dagdag pa ng kumpanya, anuman ang layunin o intensyon ng politiko, kinokondena nila ang mga pahayag na nagbanggit sa pangalan po ng aktres. Sa kanilang statement, pinasasalamatan din po ng Viva Entertainment ang mga tagahanga, kapwa-artista at mga netizens na nagpakita ng suporta kay Ann. Binigyan din nila na hindi tama ang paggamit sa pangalan ng aktres upang patunayan ang isang punto na hindi naman siya sangkot bilang pribadong mamamayan o bilang public figure. Iginit po ng Viva ng ganitong mga pahayag ay hindi dapat binibigyan puwang sa anumang forum dahil maaari itong magpalaganap ng misogyny o pambabastos sa kababaihan at taliwas sa mga dekadang pagsulong para sa women empowerment. Ayan. Okay, sana po talaga matuto tayo dito, maging leksyon po ito na nangyari kay Congressman Bong Suntay. Kasi marami talagang
Grabe backlash sa kanya,
The backlash.
At saka ito pa, can I just add also, talagang kaya na pa, sinasabi natin, ingat po sa fake news. May fake news na lumabas, sa pinagtawanan daw nung misis ni Bong na si Sheila, yung joke niya. But si Sheila Suntay, knowing
she came out with a statement.
She came out with a statement. She unequivocally denies that
she and her daughter.
She and her daughter.
Yes.
So, ayun lang.
Oras, alas 9:57 na po ng umaga at magbabalik pa po ang ASPN.
Ano sa palagay nyo?
Ang sigaw ng Pinoy Nation.
Across continents and through time zones, the story of our world. From the corridors of power to the quiet corners of resistance, we follow the voice of change and the truth. Informed by facts, driven by purpose, bound to no border. This is more than news.
Mata ng Agila International.
Alas 9:58 na po ng umaga.
And this Women's Empowerment Month, arangkada na ang ganda at negosyo. Para sa lahat ng womenpreneurs na tuloy-tuloy ang hustle, saan man makarating. Flash Express ang kapartner mo sa bawat padala. Get 23 pesos off on your first booking and start saving on your shipments today.
Oras muli, alas 9:58 na po ng umaga. ASPN pa rin tayo, ang sambayanan pinusuan natin. Para sa iyo, ito nga yung ating question of the day. Para sa iyo, ano ang dapat ng mga katangian ng isang boss? Basahin po natin ang kanilang mga comments. Sabi po ni Ronaldo Del Mundo, marunong din umunawa at tumulong sa mga nasasakupan.
Samantala, sabi ni Aileen Kirante, a good leader is a good follower. Hindi lang basta utos ang utos, kundi sila mismo ang nangunguna at nakikita para kumilos.
Mula naman kay Jo Marie Eco, stricto pero di toxic. Ganun lang. Tapos may sense of humor.
Ayan, maganda yan. Magandang klase boss
may
yan.
sense of humor.
Samantala,
happy 80th birthday po kay Telly Garcia po ng Cavite. At happy 10th anniversary po sa District ng San Diego County, California. And happy viewing po sa District Minister na si Brother Matthew Capistrano at sa mga kapatid sa distrito.
happy birthday to Yami Berte, Ate Ruby Tumanan, Catherine Canaya, and to Ronnie Boy Kagiwa. Maligayang karoon po sa inyong lahat. Sana naman po magpapansit
dami.
kayo.
At happy 7th anniversary po sa mga taga-lokal ng Karata City, District of Western Australia. Lagi po silang nakasubaybay.
Wow,
Maraming salamat po
thank
sa
you
lahat po
po.
na nanonood at nagse-celebrate ng birthday anniversary po nila.
At lahat-lahat na at ang sineselebrate namin ni
Oo.
Papi is the weekend.
Weekend.
Kaya happy weekend po at tandaan na dito sa ASPN, mahalaga ang inyong palagay. Mahalagang bahagi yan ng paghanap natin sa katotohanan. Kaya sa bawat issue na papanahon, parte kayo ng diskusyon.
At tandaan, ang buhay ay hindi patagalan, kundi syempre pagsarapan. Kaya sulitin po natin, tawanan na lang po natin ang problema, maski na mahirap tumawa ngayon. Mag-food trip po na masarap, lalo na weekend. Gumala at gumawa po ng mga masasayang alaala. At patuloy pa rin po tayo manalangin po para sa kapayapaan po ng buong mundo. Kaya tutok na kayo ulit sa Lunes, dito sa
Ano sa palagay nyo?
See you on Monday! Enjoy your
Happy
weekend!
weekend!